Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? I tell you, I am just so excited to be here with you today. I really am. And I want to say thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of TJ's Topics. I really do appreciate it. I welcome all of you. I tell you, I'm so glad to see you. I consider it a joy, an honor, and a privilege to be able to come into your presence on any given occasion. Now, today, I have a topic that I'd like to share with you, and it's one that I would consider to be of vital importance. It's better to be proactive than reactive. I'm telling you, it always is. In every situation, it is better to be proactive than to be reactive. And I'm getting ready to tell you why right now. First of all, what is the difference between being proactive and being reactive? Being proactive means taking initiative and action in anticipation of future needs or problems rather than passively waiting for things to happen or reacting after a situation occurs. That is what it means to be proactive. And if you are the type of person who is proactive in pretty much everything, then you're already on the right track and you don't have anything to worry about. Whatever takes place, you can rest assured that, everything is going to be all right. And you can feel good knowing that you handle your business in a timely manner. On the other hand, there are those who tend to, to lean towards the side of being reactive. Now, what does it mean to be reactive? Being reactive means acting in response to a situation that has already happened rather than acting first to prevent it or to change it. That's what it means to be reactive. And 9 times out of 10, there are more people out here who are reactive in various circumstances and situations than there are those who are proactive. And, I think it's safe to say that all of us have fallen on both sides of the coin at one time or another, you know, simply because we didn't know any better, especially when we're real young, we definitely don't know. But as we age and as we grow and mature and develop a better understanding of things and come into a greater awareness of life altogether, then that lets us know that we need to change course and we need to try to do some different things in order to make life better, not only for ourselves, but for those who are connected to us as well. Examples of being proactive include the following. Number one, saving for a rainy day, which is something very important. Put money aside like an emergency fund or what have you, whatever the case may be. Number two, investing in a retirement fund such as a 401k, an IRA, or a Roth IRA, which, by the way, I plan to open for myself later on this year because I am trying my best to be in a position to where when I retire, I will have the necessary funds in order to enjoy a comfortable retirement, you know, and at the very least, have a nice little cushion to sit on in case of emergency or what have you. Number three, going to the doctor for annual physicals and checkups. And that's something that we should always do because health is wealth. And I try to make all my doctor's appointments whenever they have them scheduled. Very important. Number 4, car maintenance. That include things like oil changes, checking your fluids, checking your tire pressure and different things like that. Making sure that your vehicle is able to carry you even further. Number 5, studying for a test, like in school or whatever, getting ready for an exam. You want to ace it if possible, or at least make a real good grade, pass. Number 6, fastening your seatbelt before driving. You know, Safety first, especially when you're getting behind the wheel. Seatbelts do save lives. Anyone who has been killed in a car accident and they were not wearing a seatbelt, well, you know, that was sad, but it was almost like a senseless death. But if they had a seatbelt on and they still passed away as a result of the accident, well, it just was their time to go. But seatbelts do save lives. They're very important. And number 7, buying life insurance and prearranging your funeral. That's something that we all got to consider because we all got to leave here one of these days, and we don't want to leave a heavy burden on our families or whoever is going to be responsible for disposing of our remains. Now, those are some of the examples of being proactive. But now let me run through some of the examples of being reactive. Oh boy, here we go. Number 1, quitting smoking after being diagnosed with lung cancer. Look, if you've gotten lung cancer as a result of smoking all your life and you finally decide to quit smoking, and the doctors have already told you that the lung cancer can't be cured, that's ultimately going to kill you. Look, you may as well keep on smoking because you finna leave here anyway. Number 2, replacing tires on your vehicle after having multiple flats. Look, after that first flat, it's time to replace that tire at least. And then if you study having flats on all your tires, get those things off of there and put some new tires on. Number 3, writing an obituary for a loved one immediately after they die. Well, I know most people do tend to do that, but in my opinion, I think it's better to go ahead and pre-write your obituary, whether for yourself or for your loved one. Go ahead on and get it together. You don't have to say anything to them about it. But if you know that you are going to be responsible for burying them, go ahead on and put everything down on paper in terms of their life story and what needs to be told about that person's life. And that way, when the event happens, all you got to do is print it and distribute it. That's how you take care of business on the front end. But most people are reactive in situations like that. When it comes to death and stuff, they wait until the last minute to do anything. Number 4, getting your HVAC system serviced after the heater or the air conditioner in your house goes out. Now, it's a good idea to have those things checked once a year to make sure they're functioning properly. So that way in the summertime, you can keep your place cool. And in the wintertime, you can keep your place warm. But most people don't think about that until it goes out. Number 5, going to the store to purchase household items after they run out. That's why it's always a good idea to stock up on certain things that you use on a regular basis, because you're going to have them anyway. So just keep those things on hand. Don't wait until they run clean out. Number 6, now, stop cheating on your spouse or significant other after you get caught. Now, I've heard that it's not cheating until you get caught. And there's a song that says that too. Most people don't think about that until they get caught. But why cheat on them in the first place? If you feel like you've had enough of that person and you don't want to be with them anymore, just go ahead on and leave the relationship. Move on with your life and let them move on with theirs. Don't string people along, wasting their time and yours too, because people don't need to be played with like that. And those can have serious repercussions as well. Those things can. And number 7, coming up with rent money after receiving an eviction notice. Now, if you haven't been paying your rent all this time and the landlord puts an eviction notice on your door telling you it's time for you to get out, and you're going to wait until the end to come up with some rent money, why didn't you just pay your rent all along and you wouldn't have to go through all that? Stupid. Those are some of the examples of being reactive in a situation. So I came to tell you today that it's better to be proactive than reactive. And I tell you, you can save yourself a hell of a lot of trouble if you are proactive in things instead of being reactive in things. So I would like to say thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of TJ's Topics. I really appreciate it. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. And incidentally, we are at the end of February, which means we are at the end of Black History Month. And I hope your February has been pretty good. We're getting ready to cross over into the month of March, which I'm very excited about because springtime is on the way. And I'm so excited. I think we've all had enough of winter. We're ready for spring. And I tell you, I can hardly wait. So I look forward to seeing you then, okay? This is Taryn Jerome Harris, reminding you that every round goes higher and higher. See you in March, ladies and gentlemen. Bye-bye.